Hello, Taurus. Welcome. Thank you for being here. This is going to be a general read we're dealing with. Of course, everything may not resonate, so take what does and leave the rest. And for more tarot readings after this, please check out my wife's channel, about 53 Tarot. She's review as well. Thank you. All right, let's see what's going on. Oh, wow. Wow, I have not. I've never gotten that message in a reading before, Taurus. I do understand that. What an interesting message, to kind of say the least. The message that does come through is happiness is your birthright. In other words, you deserve to be happy. What is that, though? Okay. Now another message comes through of like military boys, like on on the side of like the old school planes. He's like with like just kind of like sloppy paint, like born to raise hell. um, that's funny. That's funny. It's like, what is it, BRRRRRT, or is it like BRT, BRT, BRT? Oh my gosh. Okay, so jumping into this, it is a nice energy. They show me they are pretty happy, fulfilled, and content. And that's kind of just what they're emphasizing. And they're kind of like, in anyone else who has a problem with that, that is your problem, not mine. Yet at the same time, what actually is going on? Because there's so much energy where, why does it almost feel like they've kind of slightly cornered themselves? Like, what? It's like, it's interesting. And so for the sake, weird, it's almost like bubble. Energetic bubble. Is it like bubble boy or bubble girl or bubble person? What is that? Happiness, yes, is your birthright, cross watcher. But if you think that you're going to be happy or you're going to have that high energy consistently or constantly, life might teach you and show you otherwise. Because I feel like they're learning that and finding it out very quickly. It's like, you want to kind of protect yourself. It does make sense. Who doesn't want to be happy? Who doesn't want to live the life they want to live? At the same time, simultaneously, over time, what happens? Because there's something about, that as the timeline moves forward and progresses, there's energetically kind of like this pursuit of something, but very quickly it just falls forward or falls short. Interesting, falls forward. Like castle in a fort. What is that about you, though, Taurus? What is that about you? because like I said, energetically speaking, it's just kind of like I guess fort. We'll go with it. A fort, like a fort made out of pillow cushions, or like an actual fort and castle or safe house. We'll go with it. Whatever that is. Makes me think of that video game. Was it Fortnite? Fortnite, the video game. Like building defenses, building defenses, building defenses, building fences, building defenses, mixed with a little bit of offense in there. I don't understand that though. Usually this comes out for Gemini. The song is by who is that? I can't drown my demons. They know how to swim. The lyrics. I can't drown my demons. They know how to swim. The song is called "Can You Feel My Heart." So there's like this interesting energy of wanting to protect themselves, but them realizing like, okay, but now they've energetically protecting themselves so much that it's almost kind of like, okay, scared. What is that energy? You know, it's a scary world out there, but unfortunately, Taurus, they're kind of emphasizing like you like what is that with or about you, Taurus specifically, that they're just like, but Taurus, and it's like, but Taurus, what? What about Taurus? Because this energy of like pursuit of happiness is very short lived. Like it's there and it's gone, and that's like, yeah, ain't that something? Um, what is that about you, Taurus? Where they're like, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. It's like that is weird. There's like such a shadow of a response to that of like fear. It's like, are you a dragon, Taurus? Are you a dragon? Hear me roar. Roar. Okay. They are actually showing me, based off the example that I'm talking about, they are actually showing me like castle, 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 castle. It is a dragon storming the castle. Oh, okay, let's play. What's it called? Medieval. Let's play Heroes and Dragons, Dungeons and Dragons. Is there a dragon in the dungeon? What is that about you, though, Taurus? What is that about you? There's something about you specifically, Taurus, that is heavily fucking with them. And I don't understand like what that is. There's like this energy of like panic. It's weird. It's like it shows up like panic and shock and like there's something there where it's like they're having to unfortunately battle their insecurities. They're having to battle their insecurities about you, Taurus, and I don't know what this is about or why or what for. It's like That's like someone who's like really. It's weird. It's like energetically, like they respond in such a way where it's like not necessarily shy. It's just almost kind of like fight or flight. I don't understand that. That's unfortunately that's deer in headlights. That is deer in headlights. Like, oh shit. They're like tiptoeing, creeping around, and they made eye contact with the dragon. Apparently, and now they're like, don't anybody move. Hello, beastie. He gets his hat back, draws his sword, and jumps into the belly of the beast to take down the Kraken. Pirates of the Caribbean. When Jack Sparrow kills Davy Jones, I mean, look at this. Pulls out his sword. There's St. Michael. Pulls out his sword and says, bring it on, beastie. Fast forward, the Kraken ends up dead on the beach. In, I believe it was Davy Jones's locker, if I remember right. What is that connection? What is that? They're doing work on themselves, Taurus. I'll give you that, Crosswatcher. You are doing work on yourself. Because the way you're responding to this is like, I just have to fucking figure out what is it about Taurus? What is it about Taurus? What is going on between you and Taurus? I mean, they definitely feel something there, that's for sure. It's like, is there something there? Is there not something there? Is there a connection there? Is there not a connection there? That is so weird. Go with the flow. Energetically speaking, go with the flow. Are they dancing with the dragon at this point? Makes me, what's that movie? Shrek. when Donkey falls in love with the dragon. Donkey. Yeah, the dragon. I think it's like a female dragon. Dragon of Chaos is feminine. Symbolically, it's the symbolic, Mother Nature, very unpredictable, feminine qualities. What is that? They're like one of those situations where it's kind of like, oh fuck, and they're like, mommy, and they run away. I don't think so. No, they're wanting to kind of like overcome these fears of whatever this is, Taurus. It almost feels like they want to kind of like identify or like figure out what this is between the two of you. Huh. To go with the, energetically speaking, though, it's sort of like go with the flow. I don't understand that. Like you'll figure it out. It's just, fighting yourself is going to make it that much more difficult and complicated. I don't understand that. They're trying to identify this. Look at this. Oh my gosh. That is showing up no different than Scorpio. That has shown up no different than the Scorpio, who Scorpio was asking about or dealing with. That is so strange. There's so much like excitement and anticipation of like, okay. Let's see what this connection is all about. Let's figure it out. And it's almost kind of like, once again, it's like they're kind of like creeping their way forward, apparently with whatever this is that they feel towards you, Taurus, and they're realizing like, uh-oh. But what I don't understand is like, why are they doing uh-oh? I mean, I'll give them that. They face their fears. They face their fears and about something about you, or they're overcoming their fears. Is it kind of, it's weird. That also kind of lines up with Cancer and who they were asking about or dealing with. It's kind of like, it feels like almost like confidence building. Or self-improvement, or it's almost kind of, yeah, it almost kind of seems and feels like facing or confronting some sort of fear, like facing some sort of shadow, literally, dragging it out into the light. There's the sun. Just to identify like what that actually is or why they're being affected the way they are. Apparently by you. Like it's just kind of bring it to light, it feels like. They're just trying to bring it to light. Ooh. They're like, I don't know. That is weird. It's still kind of left unidentifiable, Taurus. I don't understand that. There's the Three of Swords right there. That is like a sick feeling. I don't understand it though, because like I said, that's ultimately the same energy that I saw with Cancer, who they were asking about or dealing with, where they actually choose to go through this. They're actually showing me like they are going through this and leaving it behind, and choosing to move forward with and deal with it. But it's almost kind of like the possibilities with that Three of Swords. The possibilities with this whole situation are like beginning to fuck with them. And it goes back to trying to identify like what are they actually going for? Like what do you actually want? Like what is actually going on? Because there's something like within them. And there's the devil. There's that shadow coming back out to play. Jeez Louise, as fast as it's kind of like in taking care of new shadow. And around we go. Where this goes, nobody knows. The Tower. Yeah. That's where it goes. You play around with the devil or the energy. Tower. It goes nowhere. That is interesting. It's fucking with them. It's interesting. It's like, go figure. They're learning about themselves. They're learning about themselves. It's like just to be able to identify what's going on. I don't feel like it's necessarily, I don't feel like it's necessarily with you though, Taurus. I feel like this is all personal. Even though you are tied into this somehow, some way. But there's that, once again, there's that energy with that devil energy, because that's what that devil energy is. Fear, survival mode, fight or flight. Fight or flight. Okay, so they're willing to stare their fears in the eye. But then what the problem is what they did was when they stared their fears in the eye, they they themselves took on that energy of, like I said, deer in headlights, to where now all of a sudden it's like, I'm going to conquer my fears. And instead, it's almost kind of like they became that which they're fighting. So it's like if they were, if they went out there and they decided, I'm going to slay a chaos dragon, I'm going to slay a dragon, they themselves are like becoming a dragon and you kind of like utilizing that energy. There's a 7 of Swords. Like, I don't fucking understand. And that's the thing. It's that energy that's fucking with them. They're trying to almost like conquer that energy that fucks with them. Any energy that fucks with them or messes with them, they're trying to consistently like better themselves and conquer themselves. That makes sense. That is self-improvement. That makes sense. I kind of feel like they're apparently they are all about identify this, that, and kind of like go figure a little bit more. Yeah, there it is. Identification. Ah. They're learning. They're learning. They're like, what the fuck? I don't know, Crosswatcher. I don't know. Weird. What is that? Is that once again? It's like the unidentifiable, and then what happens when the unidentifiable starts to fuck with you, and you're all about conquering and identifying things? What then? You unfortunately, Crosswatcher, you're met at a crossroads of a contradiction. What are you gonna do? That is like the borderline between order and chaos. It's a teeter-tot, razor-sharp fine line. What are you gonna do? Because that's what they're trying to figure out, Taurus, of whatever is going on. They're trying to keep things like in balance or bring some sort of equilibrium to this. But go figure, when this happens, the energetically speaking, the counterweight to this situation, it is what it is, Crosswatcher. The counterweight and extremes of the situation is what's making matters for you much, much worse. You're dealing with extremes of energy. That's why it's like, and swing, and swing, and swing. And you're wondering like why you never find some sort of sense of like energetic stability. It's because you're constantly swinging out of reaction rather than free will and choice. Bye.